Okay, welcome back, folks. Game 10 is about to begin between Evans, Clinchy and Bradley Whitmarsh. Evans Clinchy is currently 9-0 in this 20-round tournament. And I'm joined by Jerry Carter. Hi, Jerry.
Hello, David. How's things with you?
Everything's good, thanks. Last game was pretty dramatic. Evans playing incredibly fast and zooming off to a huge win over Chris Light. Huge in the context of the tournament, in the sense that he has not dropped a single game.
Right, he's starting in this one, and we can see his rack on the left there underneath his name. So,
And I have the Twitch commentary feed in front of me. In the last game, I was unable to see the Twitch comments, but I can see them for this game. So if anybody has any comments that they want to make, I will certainly see them and be able to respond to them.
So Evans is starting. What do you think, David? Crag or Cad or?
Yeah, I think CAG and Crag both have merit. Probably CAG gives the better rack lead. Dart is quite a strong four-letter set. But CAG does take an E and a Y at the end, whereas Crag just takes an S. So there's merit in playing Crag as well.
Maybe Dag.
Well, that's interesting because he retains the C, which is a good bingo-y tile, but C prevents overlaps, which D allows.
Still, he might be wanting to keep it nice and open. Meanwhile, Bradley Whitmarsh on the right has got things like Henry and the one that goes back. I'm not sure how you pronounce. Do you know how to pronounce the word Henry that goes back?
I'm guessing Erne, but that is only a guess. And I think there's Rhine is the third anagram in that set. But any of those plays leaves a pretty ropey rack lead with just two R's.
Probably Harry might be the word, the play here, yeah?
Well, I think so in terms of Rackley, but the trouble with that is that it doesn't score very well, and it also sets up Evans C for the front hook.
It does, yes.
Now, some of the people in the Twitch commentary have noticed the blood on the bottom of the screen, and the bottom of the board, rather.
There's blood?
Can you see that in the row 14?
Yeah, well, I think Evans has been extracting some, hasn't he?
Yeah, people think Scrabble's a fairly genteel game, but I think if you just got to look at row 14 to realise that's, sometimes passions can run high.
That's exactly right. This is war.
So at the end of this game, we'll be exactly halfway through the tournament. Evans would be in quite a strong position if he wins it.
It is a 20 game tournament.
I think so. Yes, I went to the WESPA calendar and I think I read that correctly, and it says it's a 20 game tournament.
So he's going to play Harry, which is almost certainly going to become Chari.
But does Evans have a 7-letter bingo? It looks close with that rack.
It does, doesn't it?
Well, I'm not seeing one, but I don't think I saw any of Evans's bingos from the last game. So
that's
there
right.
Could be one.
If he hasn't got a bingo from Cherry CIAO.
Well, yeah, Chow or Co Aeta or Coty, but none of those plays is scoring massively, because although the Chari hook is good, it's in a lane without any double or triple word squares. The best that's on offer is a couple of triple letter squares, so he's not going to score massively by hooking Harry. But I think he's going to score more in that spot than elsewhere. Dag does take an O after it, and Evans has got an O. But again, that's a column with only triple letter squares in it.
Just wondering if you could extend Harry to the triple, David. Perhaps put Kane on it, Kane.
Right. Well, I've never heard of him. I think he may be a footballer for a minor football club.
The team that wins 4-0. Is that?
It's not all about goals, Jerry. It's about class and history.
It is about class and history. We are, for the benefit of our American cousins, referring to the Premier League, which is ongoing at the moment. I'm noticing from another screen in front of me that Manchester City have equalised against Liverpool.
Oh, wow. So is that 1-1?
1-1 at the moment at Anfield in England. Yes, yesterday I was commenting, and my fellow commentator was talking about things like baseball and something he called football with a strange oval ball. But anyway, it confused me a little bit at the time. We've seen here Coda. What do you think of that?
I think it's pretty good. It doesn't provide any floaters. Any of the horizontal plays making Chari would have provided floaters and also an opportunity for parallel plays. Coda limits the opportunity for parallel plays because nothing goes in front of Dag, so it's only AR allowing a front hook. So I think Coda's pretty strong, and the rack leave of AIRT was pretty good as well. So I think that's a fairly strong play. And one option would have been to have retained the C for Chari and played elsewhere to keep that hook available. But I'm not sure it's such a massively strong hook that it's worth making any form of a sacrifice in terms of the quality of the move to achieve. Well, and I think Zev Kaufman pointing out that it is possible that the C front hook for Harry was overlooked.
Oh, right, yeah.
I missed the front hook for Win earlier.
You missed.
I played teethed for 60 points in a Facebook game against Phil Appleby, and I could have front hooked Win to make twin. I did see it, just unfortunately after I'd committed to the move. Right.
So Dag obviously takes S and O, and I'm thinking he's probably thinking about Boney here, is he? Ebony.
Ebony going down.
Ebony is more aggressive than Boney.
Yeah, and it's a good rack lead. Wow, Evans playing quickly again.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a hallmark of his play. He certainly played the last game extremely quickly.
I don't see anything wrong with Tao, though. He's obviously sort of just balancing there. So we're going to see Bradley Whitmarsh now with a very likely to have a spot to play.
Yes, if he has a bingo, it's likely to be playable.
Ouch.
Well, the S is good and the H is good. The V is a bit of a fly in the ointment.
Evans, meanwhile, has drawn bingos.
Oh, yes. Aired 8, Radiate, and Tiara'd.
Yeah.
But he can't hook Dag with any of those.
No.
So he may be reliant on playing underneath Tau. And that could be where Bradley plays.
I'm not sure he will, though.
Well, I think his priority is going to be getting rid of the V. So although the H goes underneath ET, he's not going to be able to play the V in that spot. So that row could well remain available. Coda has really choked up the top of the board.
It has.
The top left not accessible at all, and the top right only accessible through hooking Dag.
Is there any merit here in just playing the V on VAR?
Yeah, well, yes and no. I think the keeping 5 consonants and 1 vowel is inviting another consonant. So I think playing just the V, probably not the play.
Yeah.
Well, he could play Vrow and VAR. and that would
yes.
interfere with
Yes.
the row 13 play.
Yes, yes,
That
yes,
might
yes.
actually stop Evans from bingoing.
Exactly. I like Vrau because, yeah, that's a lovely play. Yeah, he's decided on that. Well spotted, David.
Yeah, and I see Sidewinder has also spotted that in the Twitch
Yeah,
commentary.
yeah, that was a very strong play, and that's really messed up. I think that's really messed up bingo here. So well played there.
Yeah, it has stopped Evans from bingoing, but Evans is responsible for choking the board up with that play of Coda.
Indeed. So we could see here.
There's ET to play through, but I can't see a bingo through that. And then there's the second R of Harry, which is available for the bingos beginning with the R, but I don't think there is a play in either of those spots.
Mm-hmm.
Vrau takes an S and a W for future reference. And I think people are pointing out that just Oda rather than Coda would have been a stronger play, retaining the C for the Chari hook.
Yeah, I'm not sure I liked Coda. I don't know why. It just didn't look nice to me. There we go. Meanwhile, Bradley drew 2 more consonants, so he's gonna fish something again, I think, isn't he?
Well, at the moment it's Evans to play.
Oh, pardon me. Yeah, pardon me. Yeah. Is he gonna do here? Is he lining up GAE by any chance?
Yeah, I think he could well be.
That's going to make it really, really tight.
But neither player's going to want to open the board up since they're so close in score.
I think is there any merit in just playing off the A? You know, ABA and AR, just biding his time.
Possibly, but then you're keeping a bingo-y set of tiles on a board with no bingo lanes.
Absolutely, but yeah,
so I think you're looking for a little bit of score as well.
Yeah. So Varia is his other possibility here, isn't it?
Yeah, and that would take out the S hook for Dag as well. And I don't think Varia takes any hooks of its own, so that would really choke up the board some more.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's fine. The trouble with when you're so close is neither player wants to be the one who opens the board up.
That's right.
But it's very hard to shut down a board such that there are no bingo lanes. On this board, for example, you've still got the bingo lane for the S and W hook for Vrau, as well as the S hook for Dag. Somebody has pointed out that Varia does take an S.
Does take an S, right. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen that in the Twitch commentary, so thank you for that.
One of those words that looks like it might not.
Exactly.
But seeing as it doesn't come from something like varium, I suppose we should remember that it does take an S. If you
it's a sort of word. Well, what's key here is do the players know the S hook? Because if Bradley's not sure, he may feel that Evans has played it because it doesn't take an S. Anyway, I can see that the Bradley's H goes quite nicely under the A of Varia, so that S hook may be taken out without having to be used.
little does he know that if he plays REH, he's going to pretty much leave. Oh no, he's going to go the other way. Okay, and play the tiles, which is sensible. Held.
Okay, I think Craig is suggesting that Vary is fairly horrible. What do you think would have been a better play, Craig? I'm not disagreeing with you in asking you that. NST, quite a nice rack lead for Bradley, and he's opened the board up.
Yeah.
But he's only opened it up a little bit in the sense of providing floaters in L and D and a scoring spot in the lane underneath held. Held itself doesn't take an S at the end.
So he's got troked, hasn't he, Evans, but nowhere to play it.
Yes, indeed.
Meanwhile, the Q appears on Bradley's rack. This is going to be very cagey, David, this one.
Yeah. Quite a contrast to the first game when we had 3 back-to-back bingos and Evans zoomed off into a 140-point lead, having used only 2 seconds of time.
It's a great thing about Scrabble, really, though, isn't it? There's so many different kinds of games, you know. The Princess Cup in Bangkok at the back end of last year, watching, you know, Nigel play through with having 3 S's and, you know, sort of no vowels, and seeing him play ST and thinking, oh, brilliant, you know. It bam, 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 you know. There's I often say about Scrabble, it's playing cat or dog, you know, or it or something like that, you know, that is the defining moment in games. Sometimes.
So it's Evans to play. He's got a great rack, but I haven't seen many strong candidate moves being suggested.
Yeah.
There's nowhere great for the K to play.
Nowhere great. Doek.
So does Doek take an S?
Oh God, don't.
Come on, Jerry. You are Bradley. Does Doek take an S?
I think so. Does it?
I don't know. It looks like a word which could take an S, but also may not.
that narrows it down.
Well, it looks South African. So is it?
It does, doesn't it?
Is it an interjection or a noun? I think it might be a noun.
Like SJOE, which doesn't, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, somebody has kindly advised that Doek is good, so that's
okay.
So that's quite an interesting play. He's played Doek not having the S, yet it does take an S hook, and Bradley's got the S, but he can't make use of it.
Yeah.
Now, should Bradley be changing? If he kept Nest, he'd have a pretty strong 4-letter set.
Yeah, a big chance of getting an I for him just to play QIN on the next move to the ET there of Ebony, and he must think his opponent's got an S. So
true, but he can't do anything about that. Well, I suppose he could play Nets. 22 points.
Nets would be reasonable. I think that's what he's going to do, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, he must have suspected his opponent had an S foot in order to make that play.
This would be a classic occasion when it'd be very nice to have a little peek at your opponent's rack, but I don't think that's within the rules.
Indeed. Yes, I wonder if he'd known his opponent didn't have an S, whether he would have contemplated changing, because he could have left himself with a very strong 4-letter set.
That's right.
But you're right in spotting the little place above ET for the chin or cat,
which he's got.
Yeah, so he'll be getting shot of the Q fairly shortly.
Yeah. So it's nip and tuck at the moment. This is game Game 10.
Game 10 out of 20, and Evans has won all of the first 9, so he's leading the tournament at the moment in the Collins division.
Yes.
But there is a chasing pack behind him, including Bradley Whitmarsh, who was 5-3 overnight. I'm not sure how he did in the first game this morning.
Interesting here.
Evans looks like he's in a position, quite a good position, to leave himself with a decent rack lead next go if he plays off YO. Slightly vowel heavy, but he's got 5 of the tiles in retain, which is one of the strongest 6-letter sets.
Yep.
This is still a board devoid or with very limited bingo opportunities. There's column 14 ending next to nets, and there's hooking vrow with an S or W, and that's pretty much it in terms of bingo lanes, unless you're talking about 9-letter words, and they don't happen very often. Well, that scores well, and it leaves, well, a pretty vulnerable rack leave. If he duplicates an I or an O, he could be quite weak. He has duplicated the I, but he's drawn the blank as well. And that's the end of the queue.
It is indeed, and Evans has drawn the blank.
Okay, so does he have a bingo? Jerry, can you find it before Evans finds it?
That will be very unlikely, I should think. I'm not a very fast player over here.
I can't see anything beginning with S or W, so I think it's probably column, the penultimate column, hooking nets. Of course, I and O both go in front of the N, so if there is a 7-letter play there could be a bingo. Nothing's being suggested in the Twitch commentary. So maybe Evans does not have a bingo, but it looks like there could be one there, so he may spend a while looking for it.
If he hasn't, Deem and KAI is going to be very strong.
Yeah, that's going to leave probably the best possible rack leave with this rack, and it's also going to score well.
Yeah, open up another spot as well, which is not going to be a bad thing.
Yeah, when you've got the blank, you're expecting to bingo, and therefore creating more bingo lanes on the board is a good thing. Wow, Bradley looks close to a bingo with his rack, but I don't think there's a 7 there. And there's only the Q as a floater, which isn't a particularly helpful floater at all when you're looking for bingos. And all of the 9-letter opportunities have gone, apart from hooking Varia with an S to make a 9-letter play ending SED. Well, I wonder how long Evans will look for a bingo. If I had that rack, I would feel that there could so easily be a bingo there.
Yeah.
And he's trailing by 12 points, so it's a crucial time to miss a bingo.
Anyway, he's decided there isn't, and he plays the fairly obvious play there of MI. Should be bingoing on the next turn. So are we going to see Bow down here from making Mib, presumably? Oh, no.
Ah, Bow's with an E. Very nice. That must score about 50 points, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yes, I wondered at first what he was playing, because I hadn't considered the E hook. Without the E, it wouldn't score enough to justify ditching the S and opening up the bottom row. But I think the score for Bows of 56 points definitely makes it the right play. It does, however, open up the bottom row for Evans, and he's sitting there with a pretty good rack. but does he have a bingo? All of his tiles are bingo-y, but the duplicate R and no A and no E and no S may mean that he doesn't have one. Well, he's got tricorn with the blank as a C, but that doesn't play in the bottom row. I think, Jerry, you were suggesting last go that bow and mib was worth considering. And I think it does have merit. It wouldn't have opened up row O, or the bottom row rather. Well, maybe there wasn't a bingo with that rack for Evans. He's played iron, taking out that bingo lane. And Bradley's got a pretty dismal rack. He's got a U for playing underneath the Q, but I'm not sure there is a 5 or 6 letter Q play with his rack. He's got a lot of one-pointers, so he's going to struggle to score anything at all with this rack. And the scores, Bradley is leading by 21 points, so a very close game. Whoever gets the first bingo is likely to be in a strong position. Iron has opened up a new bingo lane in the penultimate row for hooking the eye of iron. And I think somebody has pointed out in the tweet chat that Trivium and Tritium are playable in row 14. So if Bradley doesn't block that, we should be seeing our first bingo of the game. Bradley has tunnel plus a T. But I don't think... Well, he could play tunnel and LI.
Sorry, David, I lost you there for a bit.
Okay, well, I lost you too, Jerry. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, have you been commentating?
No.
Okay.
I've been trying to reconnect.
Oh, so right, okay.
So we saw iron come down there.
Yeah, so nobody suggested a bingo, so I guess Evans didn't have a bingo. He played iron, and what Evans has done is drawn the tiles to have a bingo, hooking the eye of iron with Trivium or Tritium. And we're with Bradley at the moment, and he's got a horrible rack. He's got the U for going underneath the Q, but he doesn't have a 5-letter play.
Uh-huh. That's a pity.
And any play he makes in row 14 to block Evans's bingo, he may be reluctant to make because it's going to be opening up column 15.
I like Lunt though, which he's going to do here. It's going to give him counterplay, presumably when Tritium, is it Tritium coming down? Yeah, okay.
Well, it could be a T, it could be a V.
Yeah, I think it's a V, because if it was a T, he'd put the T on the triple letter, wouldn't he? And maybe he hasn't thought of Tritium.
Okay, so we think it's probably a V for that reason.
Yeah.
Okay, yep, good spot. So Evans bingos first, and he moves into a 31-point lead, but it's Bradley on turn, so it's still neck and neck despite the bingo.
And nice tiles to score with there, David.
For Evans.
Yeah, I mean he could just play flow on this turn, or Joel. Joel is good too.
Yeah. But will Bradley play in the bottom left to take out that option? Either way, I think Evans should be looking for a decent score for his J and his X over the next 2 moves. So he's certainly the favourite to win this game, but not to the extent that he was in the last game.
Absolutely, yeah. Bradley.
Well, in in the Twitch commentary, somebody is saying that they're fairly sure that Evans said T for the blank.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He misplayed it by 2 points. So fairly obvious, I guess.
Okay, so Evans' turn. He could play Oxford through the R of tritium. Which would burn the F as well as the X.
Yeah. Or you could just play Dex and keep it really tight.
Where would that play? Oh, parallel to tritium.
If it is a T.
Okay, well, that would confirm it, wouldn't it?
It would, rather. Oxo, of course, in the corner is something else he's got lined up.
Where's that?
Just play Oxo next to the T of tritium.
Oh, yeah. Over 30 points. F and J, not a good pair of tiles to keep. But it does keep the board tight. Fjord is being suggested through the R by one of the people in the Twitch commentary.
Yep.
The F doesn't really go well with either the J or the X, and when you've got 3 non-bingo-y tiles, I think you tend to want to get rid of at least 2 of them.
So he's going to go for Fox at the bottom and leave it all open.
Interesting.
30
points, which I guess is fairly similar to what he would have scored for Oxo, and slightly less than he would have got for Oxford. Yep. But Oxford would have provided quite a lot of scoring potential for Bradley. Now Bradley has the blank, and he's only 37 points behind. Does he have a bingo? Well, nothing being suggested yet, but some quite nice floaters in tritium. And I think we've had confirmation that the blank is a T. Somebody in the Twitch commentary is saying that they checked the blank slip. So thank you for that. And if Bradley doesn't bingo this turn, he's in quite a strong position to bingo in a subsequent turn. The tiles on his rack are fairly bingo-y. So if he could open an additional bingo lane, he could be well placed for bingoing next turn. Evans, meanwhile, has a slightly problematic rack. He's got the J, which is good, and he's got vowels which go well with the J, but he's, I think, going to struggle to leave himself with a decent rack leave. Although, if tritium remains available, he does have Jow playable in the 3rd column from the right, which would score well, shut out floaters, and leave an okay rack leave. So what can Bradley do with this rack? If he does open a new bingo lane, he's not likely to score very much.
That's right. That could end up with him a fair way behind. So just be careful here.
And it's also the sort of rack where you think there could well be a bingo here. You've got the blank, you've got a whole bunch of one-pointers, you've got no duplicates, you've got floaters available in tritium. How long do you spend looking for a bingo?
Yeah, exactly.
The Varia hook's still available for 9-letter plays ending SED. And the Eye of Chin available, but not many bingos end in I.
Yeah.
And it's although these are bingo-y tiles, it's tricky to get a good rack leave from any play. Just a play of Uni, for example, above the Eye of Chin would open up 2 new bingo lanes, but then the rack leave of LORT blank feels pretty vulnerable. you could get a bingo, and you could have another rack like this. And the real problem with this rack is the sheer difficulty of scoring if you haven't got a bingo. But if he doesn't have a bingo, I think he does need to open up a new bingo lane, because otherwise the tritium floaters can be taken out with one move, and then once there are no bingo lanes, it's very hard to open two bingo lanes. You just open one bingo lane and your opponent shuts it down.
Yeah.
And so it goes. So this is his opportunity to open a second bingo lane, and therefore ensure that there's always one bingo lane available.
Absolutely. His question is, how does he do that?
Well, it has been pointed out that uni isn't such a bad play because there are A's and E's unplayed, and we can see the unseen tiles to the right of the board. There are 4 A's and 5 E's amongst the 26 tiles.
Yeah.
Unseen.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, uni. Go back to uni, Bradley.
I think uni's quite nice in some ways. I mean, obviously the score is rubbish and the rack leaves ropey, but I think all rack leaves are going to be ropey when you don't have an A or an E. But uni invites a play from the triple word square through that U, which, although your opponent may score well, they will be providing additional floaters.
Yeah.
I think if you played uni, you'd have a degree of optimism about having a bingo next turn. But it's a tricky rack to deal with, especially if it's still in his mind that there may be a bingo there. Well, it looks like he has given up on looking for a bingo, and he's separated LU. So Tron blank is not a bad rack lead, but where's he going to play LU to open up a new bingo lane?
He's not going to play lumped again, is he?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, that would be a better rack leave than after playing uni. But it's really vulnerable to giving Evans an opportunity to shut down all bingo lanes on the board.
I agree. I think this is so crucial here, this move.
And Bradley's only 37 points behind, so if he gets almost nothing for this play and bingo's next turn, he ought to be level with Evans or slightly ahead.
Yeah.
I don't. Well, he's played Null. I'm not sure I like that play, because although you're creating 2 new 7-letter lanes, both of them are linked and can be taken out.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, he would just play now. Oh wow.
Okay, he's going to keep scoring.
I'm surprised. He could have played Jow and NO and taken out all the bingo lanes on the board.
Absolutely.
But maybe he just didn't.
About.
Yeah.
But of course, didn't score. Jay, he might just think, well, you know, he's going to be able to outscore. Not sure I would have done that. I would have preferred Jow, I think.
Yeah, agreed. Because then NO only takes an O in front, and not many bingos end with an O.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, has Bradley been unfortunate with his pickup? I think he has, picking the W and the Z. Pretty unlucky when you see the remaining tiles.
Yeah, exactly. And it'd be all right if there was a place to sort of score and open, but there isn't.
So Bradley now finds himself 60 points behind. But he's got the blank, he's got the Z, And there are 20 tiles still to play.
13 in the bag. Zedo. Oboe.
25 points. We do have a couple of WZ 3-letter words in was and whiz, which makes 3, but none of those available. So although Bradley's looking to bingo and the Z and the W are non-bingo-y tiles, he's not been able to jettison both of them in one move. However, should he be able to bingo?
VF. Oh dear.
Dreadful.
That's terrible. Very unlucky.
That is shocking. Shockingly unlucky.
When you look at the tile, the tiles as well, that just could not have been worse.
It may be worth just throwing back F, V, and W next turn, because he's not going to be able to play through them without taking up too many moves.
Meanwhile,
okay, that's achieved. Chow has achieved what Zhao could have achieved the previous go, and now Evans is in a very strong position because the only bingo lanes are bingos ending with O and bingos ending in I. Not many of either. So I think Evans, although he's only 50 points ahead and his opponent has the blank, is a massive favourite to win this game.
Yeah. Any merit in Wive here? Lots of ease to come from his perspective.
Yeah, and that does take an S at the front. So 7 tiles in the bag, including, as you say, 4 E's. But FVW, pretty dreadful set of consonants to have on your rack when you're chasing a game. And when you have the blank, you must have an expectation of bingoing fairly shortly. And sometimes that expectation doesn't eventuate.
I think he's got himself into this position by playing NOLA and not and drawing badly, but not playing something like Uni on that turn.
Yeah, I think Uni would have been a much better play, because then even if he didn't have a bingo next turn, he may have had a scoring opportunity with that triple word square.
Absolutely. However, if he'd picked up like he picked up anyway, he wouldn't have been able to get anything. So it's going to change, and hopefully, see if he can draw an unusual bingo to finish in O or finish in I.
Yeah.
See. He must have thought of something that's a possibility, and who's to say he won't draw it? But he's quite a long way behind.
RET blank, pretty strong 4-letter set though.
Indeed.
And however limited bingos ending I and O are, there certainly are some.
Yeah. PSP.
So he's dodged all those vowels. He's just been drawing consonants, poor guy.
Yeah.
And the S is nice, but one of the P's is nice. It's that second P which is a real killer. Because with only one vowel, it forces your blank to be a vowel, and that makes the blank a lot less flexible than it would be if you had a more balanced rack. He does have 7-letter bingos on his rack. He just doesn't have any 7-letter bingo lanes on the board.
That's right. It shows once again why he didn't open another one, and now he's getting paid back double for that situation.
Yeah, and now he's in the situation as described, where if he opens a bingo lane, his opponent can just close it down. But Perry's pretty good, because if his opponent plays through that E, he will be providing floaters, and it's difficult to close down the bingo lanes to either side of Perry, as in locking them both down. So the game is not over yet.
Unless he draws the V.
Yeah, the FV and W that he's just shut back. Well, the W's on Evans' rack, but still the F and the V to draw.
You probably get both. The Scrabble gods will be raining on his parade.
He has as well.
Oops.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah,
it would have been fun if Bradley could have bingoed, and we'd have had a very, very tight end to the game. As it is, Evans' current lead of 56 is likely to be enough to see him through to the end of the game. Just 2 tiles in the bag.
Absolutely. That is another game that's history.
But Evans doesn't know that.
No, he doesn't.
From Evans' perspective, he's in quite a difficult position because it's very difficult to shut out both of the bingo lanes created by Perry. He can't outscore Bradley if Bradley has a bingo. And if he plays, and he knows there's only 2 tiles in the bag, so he's likely to be emptying the bag. So it's a tricky position. I think one suggested move was Aoi, which only takes an L post hook, but it provides that A in column 1 as a floater. And there will be bingos amongst the unseen tiles which utilise that A. So not an easy position for Evans. And I don't think there's any answer here. I think he's likely to just make a play which minimises the chances of his opponent coming back with a bingo rather than eliminating that chance.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder if Evans is contemplating outrunning a bingo. If he played Alu, as has been suggested, that would be a 33-point play. So he'd be 80-odd points in the lead. Probably not enough to survive a bingo pluralising Alu.
Yeah.
Ideally, from Evans' point of view, he'd simply want to make a play, even if it empties the bag, that just takes out all of the bingo lanes. But I don't think such a play exists. And he can't set up any selfish hooks for himself because the blank is unseen from his perspective.
Right.
So Bradley definitely has lost this game. He's got a dreadful rack, but from Evans' point of view, Bradley could be sitting there with a bingo waiting to come down.
Yeah, and FV in the bag.
Yeah, indeed.
So we're apprised of all the information, of course. So we know that this game is history, and that's going to mean that Evans Clinchy is 10-0.
Which is quite a strong position to be in a 20 game tournament. But
I'd say.
But the chasing pack are likely to be within 1 or 2 games of him.
Plays a wheel.
Interesting. Not maximising the score, which Alu would have achieved. But maybe he was worried that Bradley had a 7-letter play ending in S, which Alu would have allowed to be played, and that the L in last place is less useful as a floater.
Yeah.
And Evans draws the very tiles which Bradley would have liked to have drawn instead of his F and V.
That's right.
So quite a low-scoring game. Bradley not even up to 300, and Evans still away short of 400. So it's been a really tight and gritty game.
Well, that's the way it started, wasn't it? So we suspected this was going to be very, very different, and so it proved.
Yes, Coda really set the scene for how the game has panned out.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Just one move can really just sort of change everything.
And it's interesting also that with the NOLA play, certainly you can imagine that had Uni been played, the options for how the game played out could have been quite different.
Absolutely.
And I think Bradley was in a reasonably strong position, sitting there with that blank and trailing Evans by just half a bingo. He's just suffered from bad draws.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
So Evans sitting there with all the vowels, and Bradley with a rack full of consonants. So a bitty end to the game, but the game as a whole has been bitty, but that's not a criticism of the game. It's all the players. That's just the way some games pan out.
Mm.
Now, somebody's suggesting Evans only got 40 seconds left, and Bradley has either gone overtime or got 55 seconds left. So they both utilised all of their time.
Okay, so he goes fat and avid. And okay, a D. And they're playing out.
This is a really choked up board. I guess ST and Bowsers is possible. Well, he can go out with stat, can't he, through the A of our wheel?
Yeah.
But ST and Bowsers may... Well, I don't think that would be better, because I suspect Evans can score something with his double ES.
Yeah, he can just go out with C at the top, can't he, anyway? So, or seal or anything.
So 85-point difference in score at the moment. So Evans could end up winning this by a greater margin than the last game, where at one point or for most of the game he was 140 points ahead.
That's right. That's right. It's interesting, isn't it? And that's what he's done.
Well, I think it's about the same margin, isn't it? Wasn't it 75 points in the first game?
Yeah, an extremely different route to get to the same kind of score differential. But yeah, that's 10-0 for Evans.
Yeah, Evans is on fire.
He certainly is.
10-0 against this field is fantastic.
Indeed.
Well, Jerry, it's been a pleasure commentating with you over the last two games. That's the end of my stint.
Me too. Yes.
Okay, is it about 1 o'clock in Bangkok at the moment?
It's about 1 o'clock. Yes. Yes. I'm just going to enjoy the highlights from Anfield and see that Liverpool have won 4-2. David.
Have they?
Manchester City lost their first game of the season. So
wow.
First Premiership game anyway. So yes, yeah, it'll be worth watching the highlights there. Anyway, I'm going to sign off now. Okay, very nice to commentate with you, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Okay, cheers, Jerry. And
okay, bye bye.